said, find a job that you love and you never work another day in your life. Well, I'm very proud to say this. I don't have to say it sucking up to the secretary because he's not even here. I am so happy that the Secretary of Agriculture gave me an opportunity to be in this position because I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely love the fact that I get to play a hand in making sure that your community gets the goods and services that you need. I'm also happy to be joined here by my colleagues from USDA. I'm at the State Director here, State Director for Rural Development, State Director for FSA, okay? My NRCS colleagues are here. Stand up, wave your hand, you know. Okay, all right. Our Native American coordinator with NRCS. My Langston partners, where's the white guy? Office of Advocacy and Outreach, my Langston partners. I'm just happy to be here. Do I act like I'm happy to be here? Okay, I just, what'd you say? Get it on? Okay, all right. I want to bring you greetings from Secretary Vilsack and from Dr. Gregory Parham, who is the Assistant Secretary for Administration. The Office of Advocacy and Outreach, we have a whole lot of things going on right now. So I'm not going to bore you, but I'm going to give you a brief overview of what it is that we have going on right now. The one thing that I want to mention to you before I even get into what we do is that we have a partners call every quarter. And on that partners call, there are individuals, there are community-based organizations, they join on the call, and we have the different agencies at USDA to get on and say, we have this opportunity here for this grant that's coming out on this day. If you need some more information, contact us. Or we have this opportunity here if you want to run your own farmer's market. Or we have this opportunity here for co-op grants, or whatever the opportunity is, or a microloan program. We get on there and we get the different agencies on to talk about the programs. This last quarter, there was some feedback from the communities. They said, you know, if we get turned down for a USDA loan, what do we do? Or a USDA grant? And we were explaining that there is an appeal process. If you feel like you were turned down and you shouldn't have been turned down, then you follow through with the appeals process. And they wanted somebody from the National Appeals staff to get on the line and talk about the appeals process. So what I'm saying here is we want to be responsive. If you're interested in getting on that call list, get on our website from the USDA link. You can get to the Office of Advocacy and Outreach. Find out how you get signed up, get on the list, and listen to the opportunities. One of the things that I said to those high school students, some college students, is, you know who's responsible for your career? And I told them to point at themselves and say, me. Well, if you're here representing a community-based organizations or an individual looking for goods and services at the Department of Agriculture, where does it start? It starts with you. So I want to be your link. Did everybody hear that?
Amen.
I feel like I'm in church here. I feel like y'all are really feeling me, okay? I need a little nod every now and then. Where's my grader? Mr. Blue, where's he at? Did he leave out? Mr. Blue? Now, how am I doing, okay? Okay, he gave me a B+ before I got up here, so you know I got like, you know how you're in grade school and you get a little head start for the little one. He gave me a little head start, so I want to tell you a few minutes about what Office of Advocacy and Outreach does, but what I want to do is I want to hear from you. I want to know what it is that you want to know about what we do at the Office of Advocacy and Outreach. First of all, we have our 2501 program. Everybody familiar with the 2501 program? We did not get, no? Okay. No. That's a program where we provide grant assistance to organizations to provide assistance to small and limited resource farmers, to provide assistance by way of rural development, to provide technical assistance and training to ensure that communities get to the table. We did not get any money during the last year because the Farm Bill expired. We are waiting for, and you probably heard the congressman or the representative from the congressman's office talking about the fact that we are working diligently to make sure that that's included in the new Farm Bill. In prior years, we received $20 million, looking more like about $10 million, but we're going to be happy for what we get because it's a real important program. And it's not just about, I say all the time, it's not just about the applicants that walk through the door. It's about making sure that everybody knows about the programs and services. So our 2501 program. Lawrence Shorty, stand up for my staff, representing our tribal education initiatives, is going to talk as soon as I sit down. But we have our higher education initiative where we provide scholarship assistance to our African American 1890 programs like Langston University, our 1994 program, and Lawrence is going to go into detail, which you all may be very interested about. Our Hispanic serving institutions, we provide scholarship assistance. What are we trying to do? We're trying to make sure that USDA looks like the face of America, so that when our partners come in the office to receive USDA goods and services, when you walk in, you're seeing people that look like you. And that's really what it's about. The government should look like what the face of America looks like. You can clap your hands if you want to. Okay, so our higher education initiative. We represent the Minority Advisory Committee that provides recommendations to the Secretary on issues relating to minorities. We have the New and Beginning Farmer Advisory Committee that provided us a lot of recommendations, and we take those recommendations and we go to the individual agencies and we present them to the Secretary, and we say to the Secretary, is this okay? And he says, no, go back, I can't tell them that, isn't that right, Brett? Okay, he says, no, we got to do a little bit better than that. In addition to those programs, believe it or not, my agency has a 1-800 number. And I take calls from people all across the country that says, you know, Ms. Parker, we just been given a raw deal, and we don't feel like we have anybody that can represent us. And I mean, it was just last month I was banging on Joe Leonard's door, who is our Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights Jail. I need you to hear this, okay? I got to tell this young man something, or I got to tell this lady something, or I at least have to refer them to somebody. But that's what we're doing. We're advocating for everybody. Everybody that needs services at the Department of Agriculture, that is what we're doing. We have a very small staff of about 63 people. We were allocated about 80 people, but with the sequestration and everything else that's going on, we've not gotten our office completely staffed. But I have hope. You know, I'm one of the glasses half full people, you know, and I believe that we're going to get there. I'm going to stop right here, hoping that I have addressed or just at least touched on some of the things that the Office of Advocacy and Outreach, and you need to know, I was here in Oklahoma in November, okay? And Mr. Tillman twisted my arm. He was like, oh no, you're not sending anybody else out here. You're coming back to Oklahoma. And I have been treated with such care, and I mean, would y'all adopt me as an honorary Oklahoma? Okay. I told y'all I came from a big family. I talk a lot. You know, if y'all let me, I'll just stand right up here and talk to you all afternoon, but I'm not going to do that, okay, because I want to come back to Oklahoma. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to say, ask me some questions. Oh, wait. One more thing that's real important to me that they worked really hard to get in the last Farm Bill is our minority farm registry. I was on a call with the Asian American community last week, 8 o'clock at night, you know, after you've worked all day long. And when I mentioned, when you walk in the office, you have a right to ask for a receipt for service. And they said, well, how come we never heard about the receipt for service? Well, in the Farm Bill, it was not mandatory. But I'm telling people wherever I go that receipt for service protects two people. It protects me and it protects you. If you come in the office and you say, where's my NRCS partner? I can always pick on them. I can always count on them. If I come in the NRCS office and say, I need help with water conservation. I just met with the chief, and he was telling me about a situation in North Carolina where they had a farmer that was pecan farmer, and he was watering by a bucket. He was walking around. They hadn't had rain in so long, and he was watering, taking him pretty much all day. And they helped set up an irrigation system for him. And what was taking him a whole day now took him about an hour. Yeah, and I mean, he was just absolutely delighted. But what happens if you walk into your, tell me your first name again. Ron? Okay. If you walk into your local service center and you say, I need some help with water conservation. I need some help with irrigation. I just need you to help me figure out a problem here. And is it okay if I treat you bad a little bit? Okay, all right. So if I won't be first. So if Ron says we don't do stuff like that, you got some bad information. That's not what my office does. Well, if you say to Ron, I appreciate your help, but can I have a receipt for service? Well, what Ron is going to do is he's going to say, I like to pick on people. Richard. Okay. He'll say, well, Richard came in today and Richard asked for a loan program to help him figure out conservation. And Richard gonna look at that piece of paper and he's gonna say, Ron, that ain't what I asked you for. and I'm gonna need you to put your signature on here because I'm going to call Jason, or I'm going to call my district conservationist, or I'm going to call my state conservationist, and I'm going to say, you all are not giving me the services that I requested. So that's protecting Richard. But if Ron gave Richard exactly what he asked for, and then Ron turned around and said, that low down 30 soil conservation service, they just wouldn't help me, and they really did help him, then we have somebody to go back to. We have a source to go back to. What we're trying to eliminate here is we're trying to eliminate having a paper drip or a keep Siegel 2. What we're trying to do is we're trying to change the culture of USDA. The only way we change the culture of USDA is through Ron, but through Richard going in and saying, can I have a receipt for service? I talked to all the state conservationists about a month ago, and I said, look, when I was growing up, I worked at McDonald's. I like that job too. I love this one better. But I said, I worked at McDonald's, and when people would come in, it was one of our requirements to say, if you came in and you asked for a Big Mac, I would say, would you like some fries to go with that? Okay. Nobody said that to y'all. Okay. Yes. And so I said, wouldn't it be great if we got to the place where when people came into the office and they said, can you help me with a farm service loan, or can you help me with a rural development loan? If our employees were trained and were sensitive to our current climate and said, would you like a receipt for service? Wouldn't that be great? Yes. So I'm encouraging you to not just ask for a receipt for service, but for yourself. But when you go to church and you got lady friends that are coming in, tell them when you go in, ask for what? This is for Miss Dolly, okay? Ask for what, Miss Dolly? A receipt for service. For receipt. Okay. All right. I'm gonna stop talking. I have had fun. I'm so glad I came to Oklahoma. Ask me some questions.
800.
800 number. Somebody, where's Lawrence? Text my office and ask them for the 1-800 number. Okay, it's coming. Okay. Receipt for service. You can get the receipt for service when you walk in the office. You don't need a 1-800 number, but you won't get that 1-800 number. Lawrence is emailing somebody. You'll have it in a few minutes. What is your question?
Okay, first of all, I'm sure Brian Wiles and Chris DeFreezy are here, and I want to say that whenever I ask them for something, they help. Okay.
Right about that.
But here's the problem. Chris and Brian are only 2 people. And for example, Brian has, what do you have, a staff of 4 for the entire state? Okay? Almost every other client I have has either a rural development or a small business question. And how can 4 people serve the entire state?
Wow.
Come on.
Okay.
Amen.
I ain't scared. Okay. Let me just say that Congress appropriates a budget for how many people we can hire. Those decisions are made way above my pay salary. And the political answer that I can't give you, Loretta's getting ready to stand up and tell you what you can do if you're concerned about something that the congressmen do. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
No, Loretta.
Okay, on the OAO funding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, it's like there's the authorizing committee that writes the check. So there's $2 million in the new farm bill on both sides for this office. And then the appropriations committee signs the check. And right now, I think that you're at stable funding from last year. And so you have to go and talk to the members of the Agriculture Appropriations Committee and say, we need more money for the Office of Advocacy and Outreach. And, that's something we're going to be doing, and we'll tell you how to get networked, so you can find out what are the key issues. But I also want to report to you, as part of that, in the House-passed Farm Bill, the last version, one of the 39 amendments passed all at once was an amendment by Representative Marcia Fudge to make the receipt for service mandatory.
That's awesome.
but now we have to keep it. It's only for the House bill, that's the
Well, and what Lorette said to you is for any office at the Department of Agriculture. Those funds have to be appropriated by our members of Congress, and that is what determines how many people